Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Alright, well, it's another night session, and as you remember from the last one, we have a lot of stuff to do now. Lots of stuff. So, let's go do some stuff. Let's do it. Stuff. Yeah, so, as usual, it's the Morel Sonatina. If you've been watching, you know that I've been just, pounding that one out, trying to get that first page right, and it's really hard. It's really hard. We're gonna work that out today. I'm gonna try to maybe at least read through the second page. I'm kinda lying to you when I say that. I'm not gonna do that. But I would like to. I would like to do that. That'd be nice. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's Friday night. I don't know exactly how much I'm gonna get done. I don't know how long this episode's gonna be. It's one of those, we're halfway to the extravaganza now. Oh, it is. Oh, speaking of that, we just did the Hangout Q&A, and that was fantastic. Thank you all for joining it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, the next one will be March 29th, 6 p.m. EST. And I think there was kind of a consensus in it. It would be a really cool thing if it kind of went the direction of a masterclass. So that's probably what we're gonna do. So everybody, show up with some music. You can be any level, doesn't matter. You can play a C major scale, and that'll be fine. But if you show up with something, you get bonus points. And we're gonna do kind of a masterclass thing, probably. Lots of exciting stuff in the Sore Hands cinematic universe. I'm excited for the masterclass. This is gonna be really fun. I'm probably not gonna get into a video today. I'm kind of tired. I taught 10 lessons. I've done a lot of stuff today. So let's just go into a comment. So this is one that I had today, and I think I have some stuff to say about it. So this is a comment on my video. Manuel Barwaco delves into the dark arts, and here I kind of talk some smack on crossover stuff, and Steve Morse, who I don't think is mentioned in this comment, but I kind of talk a lot of smack in this one, which is I'm in the chair, guys, and also this is Sore Hands, and I do that because I just kind of say whatever I think is funny. Which, keep in mind, I am somebody who's been a guitarist for over half my life, and I encounter just a lot of funny things, and part of this channel is just giving me an outlet to kind of show people all these funny observations that I have. Who else am I gonna show it to, Who else will understand it than y'all, This is kind of a charged comment on a video that has some negativity in it. I expect charged comments on those videos. I welcome them, actually. But this is from Pedro. I'll just go through it point by point. Al Di Meola, the crazy beard guy, is a master musician. He made the best arrangements of Astor Piazzolla for classical guitar. Well, thank you for sharing that. Maybe I'll check them out someday. I do like Astor Piazzolla. I feature History of Tango on my piano. You talk about crossover is bad, but you play Garotto, Villa-Lobos, with a crying face. That is folk music from Brazil and Portugal. It is like you playing Campe, Segundo, and Cuban popular songs, and saying it is classical. Yeah, it is kind of like that, isn't it? So, let me stop you there, though. Nothing I play in the night session is actually classical, if you want to be technical about it, because I'm playing Bach, which is more Baroque. Classical era is marked by Bach's death in 1750, which is also Mozart's birth. Fun fact for you. And that's kind of the mark of the end of Baroque, the beginning of classical. And then everything else I play is modern. Morel, he died last week or something. He's pretty darn modern. So I don't actually consider that classical music per se. I am playing it on a classical guitar. So it's kind of like when you're listening to a symphony, even if you're listening to Vivaldi or Beethoven or Mahler, you kind of just call it classical. It's just an umbrella term. If I were to call something like that classical, it's because I'm using language that people can relate with, and I'm not being overly pedantic. But I digress. And this is the main thing I actually wanted to go into. So, the Cuban popular songs. And for you guys seems complicated. Which, by the way, I am a Cuban man, so I don't know what you mean by you guys. Classical guitarists, I guess. So, you said for you guys seems complicated, but for us is playing Nirvana, smiley face. I too am guilty, especially when I was younger, in middle school. I would listen to Nirvana and I was just it's so simple, this is so easy. The leads are easy, the music's kind of easy, but you know what? The music wasn't that easy. The actual technique that goes into playing Smells Like Teen Spirit and any other Nirvana tune, there's kind of a lot going on. So we'll actually just start with that, just the actual technique, muting and power chords and planing the chords and stuff. It's not simple. You're not playing Happy Birthday with a 1-4-5 chord progression. There is kind of a lot to Nirvana's music. And I would say the complexity of Nirvana is probably somewhat comparable to Cuban folk music. I feel pretty comfortable Brazil, making that comparison. Which I don't play any Cuban folk music. Where's Garoto from? I don't even know. Let me see. Oh, he's from Brazil. I think he said that. I just remember how silly I was when I was younger, when I would call Nirvana simple. And I'm sure that if you listen to me play Teen Spirit, I'm sure it sucked. Because I can listen to it now and I can really appreciate there is real complexity. And even just like the harmony of Nirvana is pretty crazy. And a lot of the harmonies in grunge is really cool. It is kind of its own language. I mean, much like how the harmony of South American music is its own language, and the harmony of Western European music is its own language too. Western European music is definitely way more studied, unjustly, I might add. Yeah, so I don't really have a problem with any of those kinds of music, and I wouldn't call any of them simple. The only music that I'd really call simple is like music for kids, I guess, like music written for children, like maybe Happy Birthday, songs like that. Bad music for children. It's like the only like simple music, I feel like. And I get the hypocrisy with not liking crossovers, but I'm not even really saying that I don't think they should exist. I'm just saying that I don't like them. It's the same thing with like acapella. I don't like acapella either. When I hear like an acapella version of like a popular song, it seems kind of gimmicky to me. Classical guitar Beatles cover just seems gimmicky. And I don't think it's the same as playing Piazzolla and Villa-Lobos. I mean, Piazzolla and Villa-Lobos wrote for guitar too, so it's not even really a crossover. Like they wrote it for that instrument specifically, which the Beatles wrote for the guitar too, I guess, but not that much. Not the whole song, only one little part. Only this part. Just that part, not the whole thing. So, you know, that's my opinion. I don't mean to get too hot or anything. I appreciate your comment, I really do. And I think that you make some points, and I probably wouldn't have said anything about it, but it was that Nirvana comment that really just made me want to say something about it. Not even against you, it's just that I too have had that feeling towards like specifically Nirvana and like other grunge or like even just like guitar-based music that we all play if you started with electric, where you look back on it, it's like, oh, that's so simple. When really it's not, and that's kind of a silly way to think about it. And if it's simple, like it might be because you're not looking at it the right way. I think there's tons of beautiful complexity that comes out of Nirvana. I've only really appreciated since turning like 22 or 23, that when I was 16, I just couldn't. I wasn't ready to appreciate it. There's more to say on that, I'm sure, but I appreciate your comment, like I said. Of course, if you have a rebuttal, if you disagree with anything I said, feel free to leave another one, and we'll just go back and forth, kind of like we're exchanging letters to each other. It'll be like several days before we respond. Okay, I think that's enough rambling. So let's go ahead and make our way to the piano bench. Let's practice some of our modern music and our Latin American folk music, our Baroque counterpoint. So I'll see you there. Time to actually play my guitar. I will see you on the other side. Alright, I think I'm about done. You know, it's been like a bare minimum kind of night. I played a lot of the Morel Sonatina. I did actually read through a new section, so that's not too bad. Let me bring you closer. Ooh, you're in performance mode. And I've been kind of revising my seating. I know you guys have been on me about my, my ballerina right foot. It is actually helpful to have them like dead on and keep my foot flat. Mainly helpful for looking like a nerd. I'm just kidding. It's been helpful for, not building up tension, because I've been getting a lot of tension recently. Alright, how about this? I'm just gonna play the Garoto Samba, Lamentos de Morro, because that's kind of relevant to what we talked about today. So, here we go. I don't think I can do it with the pillow. Sorry, everybody. Hello, tension. I know. I know. And there's the samba. Do I want to try that again? I don't know. Maybe I'll do it one more time. Like, I kept doing false starts, then I got rid of the pillow. And, man, I can actually, like, hear the instrument with it, like, pressed up against me. I may get some water. I might do it one more time. That's alright. I'm not doing another one. First one was fine. There are a couple, like, rhythmic issues in there, but of course there are. It's hard. The IM alternation is getting tighter because of the scale practice. So, kids, practice your scales if you want to get that tight IM. Alright, I think I've been at it long enough today. So, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, shall we? Hey, well, you know, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe. Ooh, water dripping down my face. Leave a like. Hey, want some guitar lessons? I can teach you how to play guitar, like classical. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check the description and we can work something out. Yeah, and of course, if you have any questions about anything, or if you have anything to say at all, like the comment that I addressed today, which wasn't really a question, but more just something to talk about, feel free to leave it. As long as you keep it relatively respectful, I will respectfully talk about it in the chair. I appreciate when people interact with the stuff that I put out. I'm gonna put this one to bed, and I'm gonna put myself to bed. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.